Mr. Fresta. Thank you so much for joining me. You play a shit ton of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Happy to be here. I do. I do play a shit ton of Yu-Gi-Oh. Maybe not as much as I should be playing, but enough.
I've decided to take a break until the fucking ban list drops because.
Which, you know,
could be any day. Could be after
tomorrow,
this episode comes out.
Literally, 3 days. We got 3 days left in August for that late August ban list to drop.
It could be any day now.
So, you know, Konami is really out here just edging us with that ban list. Like we know it's coming, but we don't know when. It's always just, you know, it's always right around the corner.
It really, really is. So we're gonna play how well you think a new Yu-Gi-Oh, or how well you know Elestral's cards. You've never played it. You've watched the MBT Farfa video, right?
No. I don't think Farfa was a part of that video. It was the one he kind of released. I don't know how recently. It was probably like 2 months ago.
Oh,
He released it where he just went over
about.
every type, and then he played the combos with a distant coder or something. And I stopped watching after the combo part of the video started, and was also only kind of using it as background noise when the main part of the meat of the video was playing.
Okay, so you don't know like basically anything.
I know jack shit.
Okay, so I'll give you the basic rundown. You've got a resource system of spirits. It's 20 spirits of any attribute. There are 8 attributes in total. They're all pretty self-explanatory. You can misenchant spirits onto Elestrals. You get 1 normal cast a turn. It's your normal summon. And then you can normal ascend, which would be like a tribute summon, from a 1 spirit to a 2 spirit. And then you can normal ascend from a 2 spirit to a 3 spirit, like another tribute summon, like that acts like a level 7. Or if a existing Elestral has the amount of like spirits, it will go up. And then there's this effect called Nexusing, which we'll talk about far later on.
When that becomes relevant?
Yeah. I do have a few of those cards that do say you can Nexus cards for this. For now, we'll just start off with the first card.
Ooh, cool. Because the spirits are both your resource and your life total, correct?
Yes, that is correct. Start off with the first card. Elechik.
Oh, look. Elechik.
So it says when you
yellow,
normal cast
so
this
thunder.
Elechik, it's a thunder spirit. When you normal cast this Elechik, you can search your deck for a divine rune and add it to your hand. Runes are like your spells and your traps.
This one specifically. This specific Elechick, no other Elechiks.
There are other Elechiks in the deck. If they get normal cast, you can add another one to your hand. Yes.
Okay. Well, the main crux of that, because it says normal cast this Elechick. So if you cast a different Elechick, it doesn't, because it's this Elechick that does that.
There are technically, when we get to that card, we'll talk about it more. There are technically other cards that say that have like extra forms underneath them. Elechick is not one of those cards.
Ah, I see. But it's like if it one day gets one of those, sort of, I guess, future-proofing.
Yes, future-proofing.
Okay. So it searches for any spell or trap.
No, a divine rune specifically. So a divine rune, we'll talk about.
The next card is a divine rune. Effectively spells and traps.
So runes are your spells and traps. Divine runes are like continuous spells.
Runes.
Yes.
Got it. So any continuous spell / trap. Just continuous spell or continuous spell / trap?
It's technically a continuous spell. There's only like one type. There's a trap. It's called a counter rune. That's the only trap.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Continuous spell. Search any continuous spell in the game. Does Elestrals have a field size limit?
It is 4 Elestrals, 4 runes, and then there is a stadium room that adds that is like a field spell.
Okay.
Yep.
So we ignore the stadium. Say it's 4.
Yes.
4 slots. You see, that's fantastic.
Right?
See, I would say conditionally good.
Conditionally
good. Yeah.
This
Like I
card's one of
don't
the best cards in the
know.
game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Basically,
for now.
every divine rune is busted.
Yeah.
There's like 2 that are not as good. But
Well, see,
basically
if
every
I
other
had that
divine rune, yeah,
information,
every other divine rune
which is why I
is
said conditionally good.
busted. The only 2 that aren't good, I was gonna use one of them, and then I was like, I kind of want to like change it up a little bit. The water one is not
Okay.
super good. All it does is allow you to nexus, and then the fire one just lets you add an artifact rune, which is like an equip spell. And just like
Okay.
Yu-Gi-Oh, equip spells suck unless you're playing exactly Infernoble.
Yeah. So I did. I mean, so conditionally good. I guess I should clarify. When I said conditionally good, it was. I guess I should have said that. But it was like on the condition that there are good divine runes
There
because
are
I know nothing
fantastic
about this
ones.
game.
Yep.
I don't know if divine runes are good or not.
All of them are good. Basically, all of them are good. All right, I will move on to the next one, and it is in fact a divine rune. It is
It is.
Apollo. So
Oh, there we
Apollo
go.
states when you.
Oh, that
cast
looks very
this
different.
Apollo.
We got full arts.
Yeah, we do have full arts. When you cast this Apollo, you can enchant up to 4 solar Elestrals, or 3 solar Elestrals to it. You can disenchant 1 solar Elestral, or solar spirit, from this Apollo in order to foretell 3, and add up to 1 Elestral foretold, 1 solar foretold Elestral this way. So foretell is like Pot of Duality,
Nuke.
where you will reveal the top
Okay.
3 cards. You
Add up to 1.
solar
And
one.
then.
And then you add it to your hand, and then you can place the other 2 cards that were revealed on top of your deck in any order.
Okay. So not exactly.
Not exactly
Duality.
duality, but very close. And I didn't want to use the best card in the game, which is the rabbit.
Oh, you talking?
There's a
Are you talking when you say the rabbit? You're a reference to Elestrals.
yes.
Okay.
The best card in the game is called
when you
Ash
cast this
Rabbit,
Apollo, you can
and it
enchant
is
up
legitimately just Pot of Duality. Except you
okay.
don't even have to reveal anything.
When you can enchant up to 3 solar spirits
Yes.
to it, and then you can disenchant a solar spirit from Apollo.
Yes. To
Okay.
foretell 3.
And is it like a rule in the game that you can only like disenchant once per turn or something?
Yes.
Or
You
like
can-
foretell
you can
once per turn?
you can only
Okay.
disenchant once per turn. You can foretell as many times as you want. There's not a hard
As
once per
you-
turn
as you-
restriction on
right.
basically anything.
Okay. Aside from disenchanting?
Aside from disenchanting on that card specifically.
Okay, because I ask because it doesn't say,
Yes.
and as someone who's unfamiliar with the rules, this would read to me as like this would just read to me draw 3 cards.
Yeah. Kind of sometimes does read like that.
That's what it kind of reads to me. If there was not this once per turn thing on disenchanting, which would be insane. Still, I guess it would. Add up to 1. I guess it would depend on how good the solar deck is, but I'm gonna say this is a good card.
Yeah, this card's pretty good. We don't know quite too much yet. This is the newest divine rune. But basically, just from like what we've seen from it, the foretell mechanic is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
There's another card called Soul Bell, which is another Elestral, where if it's on the field while you have Apollo and you disenchant, you don't foretell 3, you foretell 5.
And add 1?
And add 1.
Okay.
But if you foretell its Ascension form, Soul Stalks, you get to special ascend that for free, which is a special summon, basically. That's
Okay.
like the bread and butter combo, and then there are just plenty of others that foretell, and basically anything that's foretelled so far seems really good. So, yeah. The next one we're gonna look at is a counter rune, and this is the first generic card. Typically, generic cards they don't require any specific spirit. It's any spirit. That's what that rune icon will mean. And then, just like a trap card, they have to be set first before you activate them.
The counter
Yes,
runes,
the counter
right?
runes. Yep. And so this one
All
is
right,
Poison Tipped Arrow. When Poison Tipped Arrow can only be cast when your opponent casts an Elestral, target it and give it -2 until the end phase during this turn. End phase, you can expend spirits equal to its enchantment cost in order to destroy it. So, for example, if you use it on Elechik, it would go down to -2, and then at the end of the turn, you could you could expend, which is send one spirit from your deck to your spirit deck to your graveyard to immediately destroy it.
Wait, hold on. Okay, sorry, I got tripped up. Target it, give it -2 attack, so that like if you used it on Elechik, it would go down from 4 to 2.
Yes.
Not that it would go down to -2.
Yes. Correct.
Okay, because down to -2 is definitely what you said there when you were explaining the card.
I'm telling you.
I'm like -2. Damn, we got negative values, negative attack
Fuck,
values in this
I
game,
hope
and we're like,
not.
that's a
That
4.
shit-
That doesn't make sense.
That shit
Was
would
this thing a
suck.
0 attack?
That shit would suck.
Okay, and then during this turn's end phase, you can expend one spirit or spirits. You can expend spirits equal to its enchantment cost in order to destroy it. So, like, this guy has an enchantment cost of
1.
1. Okay,
Yes.
where do you see a card's enchantment cost?
So the enchantment
the
cost
little
is
number at the bottom?
it's that number, it's that literal centerpiece of the card basically.
Oh, okay.
It requires one
So, like,
Thunder Rune to cast.
The Apollo is 1. This is 1.
Yes.
And what kind of what is this? Just like the generic? You can use any
Yes. This
kind
is
of
the
spirit on
generic,
this.
You can use any kind of spirit on this.
Okay, so not only are you expending a spirit on activating this card, but then you expend.
A second
What does
spirit.
expend mean?
So expend is so you have a 20 card spirit deck, right? So expend means
Right.
you take a spirit from your spirit deck and send it to the underworld, which is the graveyard.
The graveyard. Okay. And is there any way to get those spirits back into the spirit deck?
There are cards that will allow you to get spirits back into the spirit deck. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Okay. But it's not. It's like. Would you describe getting spirits back into your spirit deck a core part of the game?
I
Or
would
is something
say
that people generally ignore?
I would say there are certain decks that really like it. The water deck is actually really good at keeping spirits just live at all times because,
Okay.
basically the whole gimmick of water decks so far is that they can just keep recurring spirits.
Okay.
But other decks, I will say, like having a lot of spirits into the underworld. The biggest one, from my experience, is frost spirits. They really like to be in the underworld.
Okay. Okay. So frost spirits like to be in the underworld. Water spirits like to leave the underworld, go back to the deck.
Yes.
But overall,
Overall, I would say
you
there's
know,
not a big difference.
I'm gonna say out of all the cards, I'm gonna say this is the first card you've shown me. It's kind of ass. It's not good.
This card is a 3 of in every deck.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, this card's terrible.
So
It costs too much. It's bad.
actually, okay, the best card, the best card in the game.
I would not play this card.
This card's crazy. This card's actually like crazy. Sometimes it just helps to stop it. Using a removal spell, there are very few really good removal runes in the game. And this is one of the best ones. There are basically three. Poison tipped arrow is the second best one, and it's so good that you still run it.
I see.
Yeah. All right.
I just, for me, I mean, I can see, it's a battle trick and removal in one card.
So I think you're.
I just
think you're
can't
looking at it wrong.
I can't reconcile it
It's more like
with
trap
how
hole.
much of your life it costs.
You're thinking of it more like an actual battle trick, but it's more like a trap hole. Because it's when Elestral is cast.
Oh, I guess I forgot about that part. Yeah,
so
okay.
it's not so much
kind
a
of,
battle trick,
so
but more of a trap hole.
yeah. I mean, I kind of trap hole sort of delayed removal because it doesn't stop the thing they're casting from doing what it's gonna do.
That is true. That is true. It does not stop the thing it's going to do. But the
And with how much I see it costing your life total, because your life and your resources are the same, I just can't see it being good. But if it's good, it's good.
it's really good actually.
I just can't see that justified.
I also just love this artwork, by the way. This full art of it.
Oh, all right, yeah, that's pretty good. Artwork's nice.
All right. The next one is going to be our first water Elestral. And this is actually Yuri's favorite card. It is Majesty.
I could tell by how excited Yuri is getting.
It's Majesty. Majesty gets +1 for each
Yep, no, I see it.
enchanting water Elestral on water spirit on your field, and then water enchanted Elestrals cannot be targeted by your opponent's Elestral's effects.
That sounds nuts. Okay, so one, it's at 6, but also
Yes.
gets
So
+1 for each enchanting water spirit, and I believe, if I understand how enchanting works, because this thing is a cost of 3, it would always have a minimum of 3 water spirits enchanted onto it.
Correct. If it has anything
So
less
it's-
than water, 3 spirits, it can be any type of spirit enchanting it. If it has even one that is misenchanted, so say for example it has like a solar spirit enchanting it on accident,
Okay.
as like one of the 3 that are attached to it, its effect is no
Yeah.
longer live. But you can have
Okay.
as many spirits onto a Elestral as you want.
Right. So, in any situation where this effect is live, it is at minimum a 9.
It is at minimum.
Because it's
a 9.
always getting
Correct.
that +3.
Correct.
I don't know where 9 stands on the power scale. Don't need to know, because it also makes every single one of your guys that are enchanted by water a goddamn towers. This card is insane. Final answer.
And I know Yuri's gonna hate me for saying it. It sucks. It's
This card cannot be terrible. There's no possible way.
it takes too much to get out. It's very base
It
form.
takes 3.
Yeah, it takes 3. Water has so many other things that they like to do, that it's not even worth it.
The poison tip arrow is a minimum of 2,
I know.
if not more. How is
I
that
know.
card? But this card, no, this doesn't make sense.
I know. This game is
It
crazy
doesn't.
already. All right. Now we're gonna look at my favorite card. This was kind of like the poster child for the base set.
Got it. So it's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Penterror. When this Penterror is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can special cast any number of Hydrake and Twindra from your hand or deck in attack position.
Is destroyed by an opponent's card effect. Okay, you can special cast any number of Hydrake and so it's a floater times a million.
Yeah.
So I three is the max you can
3
play
is
of
the
any
maximum.
card.
Yep. The maximum deck size
And I
is
assume
40.
Okay, and I assume you have to play. Do you have to like play Hydrake and then play Twindra onto Hydrake and then play Penterror onto Twindra?
So
Is it like a Pokemon evolution system or?
it is kind of like a Pokemon evolution system.
But is it like, does it have to be evolved or can it just be played?
It can just be played. It doesn't have to be the very specific card. It can be any like Wind Elestral summons on this thing. I will say that both Hydrake is that both Hydrake and Twindra are also floaters. If that helps.
Only kind of. How does one deal damage in Elestrals?
So think of like every monster like a Yu-Gi-Oh monster with attack and defense.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that would work.
Right.
And then to actually deal damage to your spirit deck, the amount of enchanting spirits on the Elestral will dictate how much damage you do.
So it's if my attack beats your attack, or is my attack beats your defense, then the number of spirits I have on me will be taken out of your spirit deck.
So if they're matching spirits, nothing will get expended. If they have differences in the amount of spirits, then the difference is dealt as damage.
So if my attack beats your defense, then
nothing
the
happens.
Difference between our spirit
That's
counts.
the one time it's like defense position in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay, so
yes, so monsters can be placed in both attack and defense position.
So it's if my attack beats your attack, then the difference in our spirits gets dealt to you as damage.
Correct.
Even if I have less spirits than you do?
If your attack's higher, you beat it. So technically, you would be expending those spirits because the spirits that are attached to the Elestral would go to the grave. That would be like the difference, basically.
What?
Basically, like the only time it matters is if like a 3 attack beats a 2 attack, they would expend 1, or a 3 enchanting spirit beats a 2 enchanting spirit. That would be they would expend 1. And then if a 2 enchanting spirit somehow beat a 3 enchanting spirit, the 3 enchanting spirit would just go straight to grave, not in expending any spirits.
Okay, so I have 2 spirits on me.
Correct.
You have 3 spirits on you.
Yes.
My attack is bigger than your attack.
Correct.
I attack you.
Right.
You die. The 3 spirits on you go to grave, but no spirits from your deck go to grave.
Correct.
But if I have 3 spirits and you have 2 spirits, those 2 spirits go to grave and then 1 goes?
Yes.
Okay. And then this thing's a floater, but if it's in defense, nothing happens.
If it's in defense, there's like 1 that inflicts piercing, but it's not good and
can you attack directly?
Yes. If you attack directly, you have to clear the board first, but you will attack for all 3 spirits, basically.
Well, then I'm hesitant to say so, but I gotta say that this card is insane. I'm sorry, but if you can play 3 of each card, and there's only 4 slots, right? This thing dies, and you got a full wall. Doesn't matter how easily they are taken out, you still have a full wall.
Final answer, this card's insane?
Yes!
This card's a Blue Eyes White Dragon of Elestrals.
Yeah. And is Elestrals at the point where that's insane? Or is it not?
It's not.
How?
So,
just build a wall.
Hydrake, when Hydrake is destroyed by battle, it'll float into Twindra. When Twindra is destroyed by battle, it will float into Penterror.
Okay.
But they go to the underworld. Typically, you're running probably 3 Hydrake, maybe 2 Twindra, and then 1 Pantera. So, assuming that you've used 1 of each, you only get 3 of
3,
them,
3, and 3.
and that's 4. And
3, 3,
unfortunately,
and 3.
he's got no other protection, and he floats into 2 other people that will float into doing absolutely nothing.
See, that's the tricky thing with this stuff is you ask me if a card is good, and it's good based on other cards that I don't know.
That's true.
It's good or bad. It lives or dies based on other cards that I don't know.
Don't worry. When we get to the one that has all
Like-
the other cards, that's when you know.
Like I guess Pantera in like a vacuum is insane,
Yes.
but it's only bad because it floats into cards that are bad.
It floats into cards that it floated from, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it evolved, and then when it died, it turned into its weaker selves, but
Yeah.
like multiple of them.
Yeah. Alright. But it's not good. The next one. This one is called Lavalith. Lavalith.
Are you keeping score?
You
Are
are
you keeping track?
You're
2 for 5, I
Yeah,
think.
you're 2 for 5 so far. Yeah,
Kind
I'm
of. I think unless you didn't want to give me a Lechik because you said it was busted and I said it was conditionally good.
I'll give that one to you.
Okay, and then I said Apollo was good, and it is. And then I said Poison Tipped Arrow is bad, and it's not, and it's good. And then I said these guys were good, and they're bad.
Yeah, so
Alright.
you're 2 for 5.
Okay.
This Levelith can be normal cast with 2 fire spirits if an opponent has at least 2 more enchanting spirits than you do. When you cast this Levelith, you can target and destroy a rune.
This Lowlith can be normal cast with if an opponent has at least 2 or more. Okay.
So he's
This
cheats
makes
the
me
system.
think. Okay, so this makes me think it has to. So things have to evolve. They just don't have to evolve from certain things.
Yes.
And he gets around that.
yes.
Okay. This Lavalith can be normal cast with 2 if an opponent has at least 2 or more enchanting spirits than you do. Okay. When you cast this Lavalith, you can target and destroy a rune. So he's back row removal
He is back row removal
on a guy that cheats the system.
on the guy that cheats the system.
But your opponent, he can only cheat the system. He seems to me like either a late game card or B going second card. And I don't know if going second is a good thing in Elestrals. But if I see if this were Yu-Gi-Oh, which I know it is not, I would say this card is doo-doo doggy bad.
This card is
I
currently,
think-
like probably the best
I
fire spirit in the game, and is a
Well,
staple.
I'm glad you gave me that answer before I gave you mine.
Oh.
So I'm gonna say this card is good.
Whoops. Yeah. This card's crazy.
No, I was gonna say this card was decent, but if the answer's crazy,
Yeah, this card's crazy. He cheats the system. And he's part of a whole set of Lith cards that have ways to cheat the system. This one's the easiest one to cheat the system with, and it just so happens to be that he has a fantastic fucking effect with it. Cause
so is spell and trap removal really hard to come by? Or I guess
Spell
I
and
should
trap
say rune removal.
rune removal is hard to come by, not so much because it's good, but because basically every other thing that has rune removal sucks. So
It's not that rune removal in and of itself is hard to come by. It's that good rune removal is hard to come by.
Yes.
We got a lot of twisters and double cyclones and not a lot of MSTs.
Oh, we have an MSD, but it requires 2
That's
Thunder
not,
Spirits.
That's not what I meant.
Yeah. I know what you mean. No, the spell and trap removal is the rune removal is scarce so far. There's really only like two good things, and this is the one that isn't landlocked to a specific element. Like it is, but it isn't. If that makes sense, because this
Right.
is more generic than anything.
Right. And your spirit deck can be made up of multiple kinds of spirits. You can't.
Yep.
It doesn't have to all be one.
It does not have to be all. It does not have to be one. Typically, it is
Cool.
whatever your primary element is, and then like a couple of whatever like side element you think you'll need, and then maybe some like niche tech ones. Next one.
Cool.
This one is another counter.
Are we-
The next one
Alright,
is
we should-
Gorgon's Gaze.
Gorgon's Gaze. Target an Elestral. If its effect is on the chain, negate it. Until the end phase, that Elestral is suppressed. It cannot receive enchantments, attack, nexus, or ascend. So, just in the interest of walking you through my thought process, or walking myself through my thought process, I guess, out loud for the viewer experience, I'm reading this and okay, targets in it's kind of it's imperm, but it's also like spellbound. It's like an imperm spellbound.
It's like, yeah, it's like imperm and
It-
temporary fiendish.
It
Chain.
says you're there. It's like you're there. You're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And again, like I started to say with the last one, if this were Yu-Gi-Oh, except unlike the last one, I'd say if this were Yu-Gi-Oh, this thing is pretty damn good. I think this would be not an instant 3 of in every deck, because Imperm's not an instant 3 of in every deck, but it would be up there. Aside from the fact that it's probably not a hand trap, so it's probably not good in Yu-Gi-Oh. It's decent in Yu-Gi-Oh. It's probably not played actually in Yu-Gi-Oh at all.
If it was
I
like
love how I talked
2008,
myself
which
out of
is
that.
kind of like where Elestrals is at,
Oh.
like yes,
Oh yeah,
it would see a lot
oh
of
yeah.
play.
Which is why I'm saying that this card is amazing.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, if you say this is bad,
No, you're spot on. This card is fucking insane. This card is the bee's knees of counter runes. It's the best counter rune in the game.
haha, get fucked, poison touch arrow.
You're right. Having the just ability to suppress any card, no matter what, and stopping it from doing anything for a turn is sometimes game warping. And you can even somehow use it, even more sneakily. Like you can use it to not so much negate an attack. There's a card called Galaxy, which switches all the stats on a water Elestral or a water enchanted Elestral. You can Gorgon's Gaze that mid battle, so it only does one, and it'll crash into something.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, this card's crazy. This card's the bee's knees. It's probably the second or third best rune in the entire game.
So not only is it imperm / breakthrough skill / fiendish chain, but it's also a battle trick.
Yep. It's all sorts of crazy. It's so good.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Sounds pretty damn good.
Alrighty. The next one is called Specteris.
Okay. This Specteris gets +1 attack for each suppressed Elestral on the field. When this Specteris enters battle with an Elestral, you can suppress that Elestral and enters battle until the end phase. Okay. Interesting. What does suppressing mean?
So suppressing is negating the effects.
Okay. Okay. And aside from itself, how many Elestrals would you say rely on battle-based effects?
Right
I guess I
now,
should say how many.
I would say there are quite a few that like battling more than not battling.
Okay. Hmm. But is that enough? This seems like a very situational anti-meta anti-meta card. So I would say it would be good or bad depending on how the meta shapes. Like right now, you said a lot of Elestrals like battling rather than not battling. So I would say it's a fairly decent card. Now, if it were a format where not a lot of Elestrals like battling, I would say it's not a good card. So I'd say at base. This card is very conditional, but from a broad overall spectrum, I'd say it's mid. Not good, not bad, but just mid.
Um, People are like, this is currently the chase card of the current set. It's probably gonna be really good. We haven't really had any like tournament data with this card yet, but we assume that this card is gonna be kind of crazy because currently the best deck is called Five Guys, and a lot of their big things comes from that galaxy that I was talking about earlier, from Gorgon's Gaze, and he suppresses that right away. You are basically right the entirety of... Yeah.
But it's only crazy because right now the best deck relies on stuff that it would prevent it from doing.
You're correct.
Like I said, anti-meta, very situational.
I'm going to lean more towards very good, just overall, because it suppresses everything, and a lot of things like to gain a lot of attack really fast. Because, again, we're in, like, 2008 Yu-Gi-Oh!, not 2020, where everything moves at the speed of sound, you know?
Yeah, but as soon as you get to 2020 Yu-Gi-Oh!, right, it's going to be terrible.
You're right. But for now, he's going to be phenomenal.
But for now.
All right. Moving on to the next one. It is Dratura. And this is our first Nexus spirit. Nexus Elestral. So, Nexus lets you move one spirit on your board to a different card. Doesn't have to be exactly an Elestral to a rune or a rune to an Elestral. It can be a rune to a rune or Elestral to Elestral.
Oh, no, this card's amazing. You can finish your Nexus explanation, but it gives you life back. It's fantastic.
Yeah. This is a Nexus form of a card called Gratagua, and he has a very similar effect where he is, whenever he receives a water spirit, he recovers 2 spirits from your deck, or from your underworld to your spirit deck. Yeah. This card's crazy. It's like one of the go-to solar Elestrals right now, because he recovers spirits for you for free. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You not only do you get to move your spirits around, and I assume because I haven't seen it written on any of these cards, I assume all Elestrals have an understood built-in once per turn.
Nah.
For their effects.
So nah.
Okay, so the fact that this guy doesn't have that on him, you can do this as many times as you want.
Well, okay, so, like, kind of. If they say, like, whenever they receive an Elestral, that's not a once per turn. This one is somewhat of a once per turn, because it is through its Nexus effect. It's not whenever it receives a spirit. So it is a once per turn.
Okay, so when Nexusing, they can only take it from themselves and move it somewhere else? They can't take it from anywhere?
They can take it from anywhere and move it anywhere. But... the Nexus effect itself is like a once per turn. You can only Nexus it once per turn. Okay. And then, like,
got
then
it.
The effect
that's where the disconnect was?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if it doesn't say it's once per turn, and Elestral effects are not inherently once per turn, then you could just keep moving shit back and forth until you're at full health. It's like
No, it's not that good.
just like, oh, I have myself and one other guy, and there's one single solar spirit between us. Let me just keep moving it back and forth until my entire deck is refilled.
No, because if it loses that spirit, it does die. If it loses that one spirit, like if it has no spirits enchanting it, it's dead. It's considered dead.
Ah, I
Yes.
see.
Yes. So
So they must maintain their spirits.
they must maintain a spirit. It doesn't have to be exactly that spirit on them, but they must maintain their spirit.
Cool.
The next one is our first invoke rune.
The fuck is that? What, like a ritual spell?
Nope, it's a basic ass spell card. Eruption.
Oh. Okay.
Opponent must
Eruption.
expend 3. If they control a final
If they
enchantment,
control.
it's only 1.
Oh, it's a burn spell.
It's a burn spell.
See, this is the one. This is. I have a vague memory of MBT talking about burn, and I'm fairly certain he said it was good. So, and this one seems like it makes you expend a lot, and 3 out of 20 is not an insignificant number.
You're right. 3 is a lot. 3 is a lot.
That is 15% of your overall health. That being said, if everyone's playing Bird, then it's only 5%, but still 5% is not super insignificant. I'm going to say it's good. I'm not going to say it's great, but I'm going to say it's good.
This card is very niche. There are decks that really do like to burn. The Wind Nexus deck actually is like the best burn deck right now. And it doesn't even touch this card.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's good with like very specific cards. It's probably going to get a lot better now because we just got another card that can search it now and recycle it.
I
So
see.
with like the new meta, it should be better. Not right now. It's at a very niche spot and not overall very good. I'll give you like the half point for that one
Oh, cool.
because
Half point.
you were like spot on. We're like this is a lot and it's probably really good, but it'll probably
Half
get
points are
better
fun.
in the future. Yep.
Half points are fun.
All right, we have another counter rune.
I got more of those now.
Oh yeah,
I got Karibo and I got Dark Magician.
nice. The next one is Tsunami.
Oh, this already sounds. It's Tsunami and Eruption, so this one's got to be as good as Eruption was. It seems like it's the basic water spell. Probably came out in the base set. Does Elestrals have rotating? Not relevant to the card. I'm just curious.
As of right now, we have no idea.
Oh, I see.
It's
Not old enough.
It's not old enough to know. If we
Change
have a
all
rotating
Elestrals to
player.
defense position unless they are water enchanted. This card is ass.
This card's crazy.
Don't
It's Mirror Force.
fuck off.
It's
What?
It's Quaking Mirror Force basically. Think of it like that.
I
think of it as Quaking
think
Mirror
I just
Force.
peaked. I think I just peaked. I think my mic just peaked. I said what, and then my bar went red.
Very much peaked. Yeah, no, this card's basically
What?
yeah.
I should probably
It's
put a filter on that, a limiter or something.
a lot of water spirits. A lot of people tech in a water spirit just so that they don't lose to Tsunami. Because if you're making a big push and they have a
Okay.
Tsunami, it's a 1 cost to turn everything to defense. Water spirits.
Except it can't be like Quaking Mirror Force because Quaking Mirror Force is a trap, and this ain't a counter room.
Yeah, it is.
So they fucking where on this does it say it's a counter rune?
It doesn't say. The counter rune icon is the same thing that Gordon's Gaze and Poison Tipped Arrow has.
Oh, see, I wasn't paying attention to that. I just saw the big counter word on it.
Yeah,
and figured.
because those are reprints. Tsunami did get a reprint. I probably should have grabbed that one so you could have seen it better. Eruption did not have that reprint. But yes, that is the symbol for a counter rune. This card's crazy.
Okay. Well, knowing that it's a counter rune,
Knowing that it's
I thought it was a
counter-rune.
basic ass spell. Yeah, I thought it was a basic ass.
I even
spell.
said-
You could have corrected me when I was. You could have corrected me when I said it was a basic ass spell like eruption.
I mean,
And you said nothing.
It was the basic ass spell like eruption, except this one was infinitely better. This one is probably the second best of the basic ass like runes for the first 5 elements.
I see.
Yeah, it turns out Mirror Force is still really good in 2008. Who would have thunk it?
I think that sounds accurate. What was it? It was still banned around that time, right?
It was at like 1 at that time. Card's crazy. It's still crazy. Basically only water decks are the only ones that are always equipped to play around it. Alrighty. Let me just mark it down real quick. The next one is Spark It, our first Thunder Spirit. Our second Thunder Spirit.
That's
actually.
not right. That's not right. It's not the first.
I forgot we started with Elestral.
Nexus up to 2. Okay. And when you do, you can look at an opponent's hand and discard a card from it. Ah. Oh. Okay. Interesting. What does advantage mean to Elestrals? Hell, no one likes getting a card ripped from their hand. Elestrals probably doesn't have a system in place to really generate advantage like that. So I'm gonna say this card's good. I'm gonna dare even say this card is insane.
This card is banned. I think that should say enough. It's the only.
Oh,
Is
this the banned card?
This is the
I remember
banned
you
card.
talking about the one
This is
card that's
the
banned
banned card.
because
Yes, this is
I
the
couldn't
banned
remember
card.
why. This is the banned card.
This is
yeah, no,
the banned
no,
card, yes.
It's I'm sorry. It's you're hand looping your opponent in a game that probably doesn't have a whole lot of draw power. It kind of relies on that card advantage and resource engines. Yeah, no, this card's good.
This card's crazy. Yeah, no. This card, Elechik, and the Rabbit were all part of a deck called Thunder Nexus. The Rabbit has the effect of whenever it receives a Thunder Spirit, it does the Pot of Duality.
Oh.
So nexusing a Thunder Spirit onto it, moves it, gives you an extra card, and then you get to rip a card out of your opponent's hand. You're going +1 on that. It's crazy. This card's insane.
It's too good.
Yeah, this card's crazy.
Too good to stay in
it's
the game.
banned. It's getting a alternate form called the Tartarus form, or Escape from Tartarus.
Yeah.
In 2 sets. We've already seen what it does. It nexuses up to 2. It does basically the exact same thing. It's 1 attack less, and it's a random discard and not hand knowledge. And I still think that card's going to be insane.
Oh no, that card will be insane. Hand looping is always insane.
Yep.
No matter what game you're playing.
Yeah,
Here's
this
a
card's
question,
crazy.
though. Somewhat probably maybe off-camera question, because explaining this to me probably won't be fun for the camera. 2 sets in advance, you know cards from, despite the fact that this is not getting released somewhere else first?
Yes. Because when A-Drive talked about it, he talked about the banning of it, and then he said, well, we have to think about a way to, like, balance it out, and so he created the Escape from Tartarus version of Spark It.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. But that's the only card you know of from the set that's 2 sets
That
from
is
now.
the only card that we know of.
Just because it was discussed because the OG version of it got it. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
We can move on now.
Oh, boy.
How many cards are we in?
We are on the 12th card. It is now time.
And 13 is the one that's 5 parts?
Yep. It is now time for you to look at Morfrost and all of his brothers.
All of his brothers.
Well, all of his forms. Because He has 5 forms.
Oh. Oh God. Okay. And you can really only know him like in the context of all of them.
Yeah, so you have to basically know all of them to figure out like the whole strategy. Because if I showed you just
I
one,
see.
it would be terrible. Like if I showed you
It
just
would be
abominable form,
doggy doo doo
he would
bad.
be he'd be doggy doo doo bad.
Okay.
So if I
More
showed you
frost
all of
lichen
them, it
form.
makes
Okay,
sense.
you can expend one and discard this more frost in order to search your deck for up to 2 more frost that are not lichen form. Add them to your hand. Okay, so that one sounds pretty good. Indus form. When you cast this more frost, you can expend one in order to search your deck for up to 2 more frost and send them to your underworld. When this more frost is destroyed in battle, you can target and destroy one face down rune. Alright. This Morfrost gets +1 for each Morfrost in your underworld. Okay. You can disenchant from this Morfrost in order to special cast a Morfrost that is not abominable form from your underworld. Your opponent's Elestrals get -1 for each rune enchanting this. Sorry, not rune. Each spirit enchanting this Morfrost. When a player activates a card or effect that targets one or more Morfrost, you can discard one Morfrost in order to negate that effect and destroy that card. Okay. Platform. When this Morfrost is discarded, you can special cast a Morfrost that is not bat form from your underworld. Ah.
As a side note, this is like one of 2 like archetypes, if you will,
Right.
so far.
I am gonna say this is good. I feel like it's a tight knit resource loop engine sort of pseudo never ending conga line of assholes. Each with their own unique sort of spin. Some more annoying than others. They're definitely not all created equal.
Right.
But they're all still pretty
good.
good. I'm gonna say this is pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, you're spot on. The Frost deck is like basically half this and then half these 2 other cards called Cryoling and Cryovern, where you're just expending as many spirits as possible and you're ending on like a 7 like 5 asshole and then like abominable form with like 80 of these fuckers in there, and you're just like gung ho to beat in everybody's ass. You're spot on. This card's crazy. It's insane. It's probably like the best card. It probably was like it's one of the best.
The best
archetypes
set of
right now.
cards.
It's currently, yes, the best set of cards. And you know, who doesn't like just playing with a giant fucking abominable asshole?
Me. I mean, no, not me. I do like. Yes.
Yeah. This card's crazy.
So that's number 12.
That's number 13.
I thought we were on 12.
No, 12 was Spark It.
Okay, so we've got 2 more left.
We have 2 more left. Yep. The next
2
one
more left.
is
And we're
an
almost an hour.
Artifact Rune, which is an equip spell for Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, sorry, it's already terrible. It's bad. It's not good. I haven't even read it yet.
Bag of
Winds. Okay, an empowered Elestral. Okay, the fuck is an empowered Elestral?
It's the Elestral that's equipped with it.
Okay.
Yep.
An empowered Elestral gets +2 defense and cannot be targeted by opponent's runes. When Aeolus is enchanted and the empowered Elestral. Okay, I assume Aeolus is like is a continuous or whatever rune like Apollo is.
Yep, he's the Divine Rune of Wind.
Divine Rune, that's right. Yeah. Okay. And is he any good?
He is
Is he one of the bad ones?
He is reinforcement of the army for wind.
He's Rhoda.
He's Rhoda
Fun.
for wind. Yeah.
Okay, so good.
He's
Heard.
pretty
When
fucking
Aeolus
good.
is enchanted, and the empowered Elestral destroys an Elestral in battle, you can target and destroy a rune. Okay, so this card, not only does it give the guy it's equipped to +2 defense, it prevents that guy from being targeted by your opponent's runes. And if you have the Aeolus on the field, it will also destroy a rune when he destroys an Elestral, making it effectively a 2-for-1. And with all that said, and this could be very wrong because of my bias for equip spells, but this card is not good. This card is it's
I would say it's about middle of the road.
middle of the road. It's one of those cards that's like, if I have the spare space, sure, but I'm not gonna work hard to get it in there.
Yeah.
It's not a card I can justify.
Your spirit deck is tight at a certain point. For example, the Frost deck wouldn't run it. Thunder Nexus would never even think about touching this card. It's just too slow. It doesn't do anything for them. But there are some slower cards that like really like having that protection, especially for like their big idiots. And Aeolus is just a good enough card that like basically every wind spirit's like, okay, well if we run this, it's not the worst thing in the world, you know?
Right.
And then the last one.
So like half a point.
Yeah, I'd say about half a point. So you're back to
So like half a point.
You're back to like 1.
Just full points.
Yep.
Just full points.
So it'll be out of.
That's right. 15
out
out
of
of 15
14
baby.
for once. Alrighty. The last one is called Resting on Your Laurels. It's another invoke rune.
Okay. Yes. Wait.
So invoke runes.
The invoke is just the regular spells.
Yes.
Okay. This resting on your laurels can only be cast if an opponent has at least 2 more enchanting spirits than you. Okay. Target and destroy that opponent's Elestrals with the least number of enchanting spirits. Oh god. This card. I'm sorry, this card is god-awful. I cannot imagine a world where this card is good.
Final answer.
Yeah.
You're right.
I
This
swear to God.
This
Okay.
This
Oh my
card.
God. I swear to God, if you say this is good, it's not.
card-
I promise.
I wouldn't say it's bad. Sometimes
I was gonna say, I swear to God, if the Elestral community is tricking itself into thinking this card is good.
No, like everybody knows, like this one is without a doubt. So, like I said, there are like 3 runes that really destroy Elestrals. I said
Yeah.
PTA is the second best. This is the third best. Like this one is without a doubt the worst one. But it's still like decent at the end of the day. Obviously, you're not going to waste everything on it, but this card is still does what it needs to do very well. But not as well as the other 2.
Right.
The most blanket one is called Earthquake. It's the Earth rune. It is the most staple like rune that is not generic. Because it just destroys an Elestral. It target destroy 1 Elestral. It's insane. It's crazy. It's the best.
Yep.
It's the best
That's
one.
good.
Bar none.
That's a good card.
Yep. You did.
That one.
You did 10
Terribly.
for 14.
I failed. Okay, hold on. I think I did. That's better than I thought I did. 10 for 14. Wait, Wait, what?
We got 2 half points.
Right, but that doesn't take away from the fact that there were a total of 15 cards.
Then I guess we're like
What?
10 for 15. Right?
Okay.
Or wait,
Like-
hold on. Hold on. 1, 2, 3.
How many
4.
points did I get?
Yeah, you got 10. And then you got 4 wrong.
10.
And then you got the 2 half points. That made 10.
So I got 4 wrong, 2 half wrong.
2 half wrong.
Okay, so 10 out of 15.
10 out of 15.
was gonna say, might as well just give me the 11 out of 15 at that point.
Yeah, I'll give you the
What?
that's fine.
What was that? No. 10 out of 15. I'm happy with 10 out of 15. I'm just saying, if you were gonna make it 10 out of 14, might as well make it 11 out of 15. Like, what was the point of removing the 15, that one card from the total,
I don't know.
which is barely a pass.
Barely a pass. You got a C.
Barely a pass. I got a
You
66.7.
got a 66.7.
Or I guess I should say a 66.67.
Yeah.
Or 66.66666667.
Yeah.
You know, depending on how far you want to round.
Yeah.
How far down you want to round.
Yeah. I should have showed you Ambrosia. That one is like currently in consensus for like the best card in Elestrals. That is not called Astrabbit.
And let me guess, I would have taken one look at it and said, this card is doo-doo doggy bad.
It's a 1-cost generic spirit that returns 3 spirits from your underworld back to your spirit deck. I have a feeling you would have said it was doo-doo doggy bad until you realized that spirits are also your mana, your resource. You muted yourself.
For some... I muted... I didn't mute myself. What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh no, I didn't hear you. Oh yeah, no.
I'm not muted. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
I think my Discord signal gave out for a second there. I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? Didn't mute myself. I'm sitting there, and I was sitting there, and the only reason I was like sitting there thinking about it is because for some reason when you said spirits, I thought monsters. And I'm like, it returns 3 monsters from your underworld to your deck. That's not good. What?
No,
Sorry?
No. It's returned 3 spirits.
And no,
back to
then
your
you
spirit
said
deck.
now that we're clarifying that it's spirits to spirit deck and not monsters to deck, then yeah, no, that's insane.
Yeah, that card is arguably probably like the actual best card. That is not Astrabbit. Those are like the 2 like best cards in Elestrals right now. The next best one probably would be like Nectar of the Gods, which is Pot of Greed. I don't need to tell you why Pot of Greed is still good.
Pot of Greed is always good.
Yeah, draw 2 cards.
Unless you're Pokemon.
Unless you're Pokemon. Exactly.
With the casual Professor Oak, draw 7.
You're right.
The amount of card advantage gaining in Pokemon is absurd.
It is kind of crazy how much advantage you can gain in Pokemon. But thank you for joining me on this 1 hour long excursion.
Yeah. I don't know. You'll probably cut a lot of this out. I'll be perfectly
yeah,
honest.
I'll probably cut most of it out. Yeah.
So maybe you'll get all 15 into a single video.
Maybe.
Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
I'll find out once you release it.
Yep.
So that'll be fun.
Yep. But yeah, thank you for joining me. This